Design inspiration, real-life makeovers, and the latest in pop culture. This is the Uploft Interior Design Podcast with Betsy Helmuth.
Hello there. We are going to start calling this podcast Pillow Talk with Betsy. Do you know any other interior designer, or really any other podcaster in general, who podcasts in their pajamas, specifically their grape purple onesie? I don't. But things have been so busy at Uploft Interior Design that this is what I've been forced to do. I used to block off an entire afternoon and just podcast for the whole month so that I had it banked, so that I could move forward and do other things. I have not had time to do that. I've had to catch as catch can because I am literally taking 6 clients a week. Now that's the volume I used to take back in my heyday before I had so many children, before I had a house, back when I lived in an apartment in Brooklyn and was just, cobbling it together. And I'm in the thick of it. I really am. Very grateful, but whoa. I have some exciting client stories to tell you. Of course, I have a question for the mailbag. And after all that, I just don't think I'm going to have the time, energy, or bandwidth to get into Lena Dunham's Fame-Sick memoir, which I am dying to talk about because I'm a little bit obsessed. And I certainly cannot say I'm obsessed with Lena Dunham, but wow. So that might have to wait for another episode because I have something even more exciting to share with you guys. So you guys know I design in New York City and I love New York City. Back when I lived there, back when I spent a lot of my free time in New York City, I used to walk around the streets and I created, a very informal building bucket list of places that I could not wait to work in, that I wanted to work in, putting it out to the universe that, yes, I want to work in this building. Well, on the top of that list, of course, there's the Dakota, right? Let a girl dream. But there's also the Apthorp building, and it is beautiful. It has these massive gates. It takes up a half a city block. It has these guards / doormen outside the gates who are, very strict about letting people look in, because in the interior of this massive building that's split into 4 parts is a courtyard with all these beautiful Grecian statues made of marble. And then in the middle is this cherubic little figure who's spitting, water into a fountain. It's been in lots of movies, and I've just always wandered by and been like, that building. Now, I looked in the buildings we've worked in, and one of my other designers, Paulina, has worked in that building, but I always waited for the day when it would be my turn. I did not tell the staff that I wanted to work in that building because I just wanted, if I get assigned it, I get assigned it. It's kismet. You don't try and force. At least I never tried to force my bucket list in terms of the buildings. I would literally walk down the street and be like, that one. And believe it or not, weeks or months later, I would find myself in that very building. Well, today, guys, I found myself inside the Apthorp. I show up. I tell the doorman / guard. He's like, where are you going, miss? And I said, I'm going to apartment XYZ. He says, oh, that's in this other building down the street. I'm like, no, sir. It's in the Apthorp. I had Googled this. I knew for sure. Don't mess with me. I'm going in. Anyway, he's like, repeat where you're going. And so I repeated the apartment number. And he's like, oh, yes, right this way, ma'am. It's right this way. I walk in. I go in the elevator. It's a magical experience. I walk out of the elevator. All the apartment doors are glass, framed in this beautiful gilded edging with panes, and just it's so authentic, so filled with character. There's molding. There's Grecian statues on the actual floors in niches in the hallway. I was beyond enchanted. And then I knock on the apartment door, and you never know what you're going to find. Is it going to be blown out and totally contemporary? Is it going to be never been touched and these people got an amazing deal and whatever? No. it had been renovated by a professional, super high-end interior designer. I think he even lived there. Oh, no, 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 no. It was a Broadway producer who lived there with his two kids. He had it done to the nines. It was impeccable. I felt like I was walking into an apartment in Paris with these very elaborate hardware pieces, whether it was the window treatment, kind of the knob on the windows, or whether it was the faucet, or even the beautiful, I mean, stunningly beautiful marble vanities with acrylic legs. I just could not believe how impeccably this place was done. It had marble columns flanking the entryway. All the paint colors were Faro and Ball. It was better than I could have hoped, guys. I'm getting emotional. So anyway, the style that my client is going for is super sleek, modern, lacquer, very contrasting to all the dental molding, the filigrees, the decorative work, the old world style that the building and, of course, this apartment just exudes. I'm going to have to find that happy medium. I'm going to have to make these two extremes work together. While I wish I could just lean in and make this my eclectic fantasy with pattern drapes, so many colors, crazy wallpapers, inset in the niches. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be fine with creating a super modern design that's going to be so elegant. And I have a lot of money to spend. So I'm excited about the result. Don't get me wrong. But I think what I'm trying to say is I was jealous that the place was not mine. I think I want an apartment in the Apthorp. It was so beautiful, and the space just spoke to me. Anyway, that is something very exciting that happened today. And then I had a beautiful 1 hour stroll through Central Park from the Upper West Side all the way down to Midtown East, where I worked on this amazing shell of a commercial space. Now, this company's been there for a good long time, but people were starting to come back into the office after COVID, and now they want to make it like this really cool hangout. This company really wants to put an emphasis on company culture and mentorship and breaking out into like these little groups, and how can I make this space feel vibrant, energetic, collaborative, fun, so that people want to stay and kind of hang out with their coworkers even longer. So that was my next challenge. And that's all in a day's work here at Uploft Interior Design. But what I'm trying to get at is that there's truly never a dull moment at my job. I have been doing this for 23 years. It never gets old. I still get my kicks from designing this way. And I don't know how many people can say that about their jobs, but I feel very fortunate that I can. So there we are. What else do I want to say about that? Oh, I have 2 presentations tomorrow. One is for this beautiful bedroom in Queens. The architecture is really interesting. One part, like a small part of the room, is vaulted right in the middle, and we're going to hang a big chandelier from this 13-foot sort of peak in the bedroom, but all the other ceilings are 9 feet high. That's going to be interesting. And they already had some very expensive anthropology curtains, but that was really pretty much all we were keeping besides the gray, very neutral bed. So it's been really fun to play with the colors in this embroidered, very lively, but green-based drapery panel. So that's tomorrow in the afternoon. And then later tomorrow, I have another reveal call where I'm showing 2 clients their living room space. And one of the clients is a romance book influencer. She has a huge following on TikTok and Instagram. And I met with her before I knew that. And then I immediately went back and was like looking up all of her TikToks and very inspired. But they want a space that feels super cozy, like just the ultimate reading pad where you can curl up with 800 amazing books, because she gets so many books for free in her line of work. And read under a chunky blanket. And of course, they have panoramic views of Brooklyn and also of the Statue of Liberty and Manhattan. I mean, what? It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Now, the problem with this Williamsburg apartment is that they have these stunning views right now, but there's a new high rise going up right next door. And pretty much they've been counting how quickly the building is doing each floor. And what they've counted is they have exactly 6 months before the building obstructs their view of the water and the Statue of Liberty. Oh my gosh, I'm sad for them. But we're going to make their place so cozy and amazing that they don't even miss the view and they still love coming home. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. All in a day's work. Okay. Anything else I want to share in my pajamas? I don't know how to fix my Zoom setting, guys. So if you're watching this on YouTube, first of all, you're seeing my great pajamas. You're seeing me with only lipstick on because I accidentally washed my face before this. When you get home after a long day in the city, after walking through Central Park, after meeting with clients, all I want to do, and what I do immediately, even if it's 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I wash my face and I put on a onesie every damn night. All right, let's get into it. I have a question in the mailbag. And the exciting thing, just to keep this personal expression stuff going, the exciting thing about this question is it comes from Lynn in Minneapolis. And I haven't been to Minneapolis in 15 years. I went to college in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and I went back for my 10-year college reunion and I had a blast, but I hadn't been back until this year when I went back to Minneapolis for a friend's wedding. Now, it wasn't even a college friend, somebody I'd met in New York, actually a former client of mine, who then became a bridesmaid at my wedding, and now I was in her wedding. Well, it also happens to be my 25th anniversary of graduating from McAllister College in St. Paul. So I'm going back to Minneapolis for a second time in 6 months or something, 8 months, I don't even know. And that's just crazy considering I hadn't been before in 15 years. So Lynn, I will be in your hood very soon. In the meanwhile, let's answer your interior design question. And guys, if you have interior design questions, which I'm sure you do, head over to uploft.com/podcast. Once again, that's uploft.com/podcast. There you're going to find a form that you quickly fill out, sharing your question with me, and I will answer it on an upcoming episode. One other thing I wanted to briefly mention is you guys know I have my Uploft Interior Design Academy, right? Well, it is so inspiring taking clients, working with clients. If you've dreamed of being an interior designer, if you felt called to change people's lives by changing their spaces, know that you can make money, you can have fun like me for decades. We actually just trained a new designer here in Connecticut, and she had never designed before. She was a stay-at-home mom for over a decade. She was looking to kind of get back into something. She'd always loved interior design. She had a beautiful kind of natural taste level. And we trained her using the Academy modules. And now she works for me. She's on her first month working for me. She's taking her own clients. She did a great job going through the Academy. She had no previous experience with floor plan software, with mood board software. Heck, she didn't even know how to measure a room. And she took the Academy and now she works for me. Now, of course, that's because she's local and we hired her to work for me, but know that the Academy that I teach, that's available to anyone, truly internationally. We have students in Australia, Canada, we have students in Africa, and then of course in the United States. But anyway, they take the Academy so that they can learn to be interior designers and work for themselves. But know that it is also how I train my team. It is what I require of designers. It's that knowledge foundation that you need to go out and make money and take paying clients with confidence. And of course, People I hire take this academy and work for me, but the academy also has business modules that teach you how to get started working for you. It's an amazing opportunity. If you're curious, head over to uploftinteriordesignacademy.com. Let's get to Lynn's question. Hi, Betsy. On a recent episode, you said you're out of questions, so I have one for you. Yes, we always need questions, Lynn, so thanks for writing in. I need help deciding which general color direction to go for new flooring in our kitchen, dining room, and south-facing family room. Currently, this large area has both laminate tile, ugly, and old carpeting. What do you suggest? We are looking at luxury vinyl plank for its durability, even though the front living room and hallway, which are adjacent to the dining room, have real wood flooring, cherry. Our outdated oak cabinets are staying because they're in great shape. You will likely see many opportunities for improvement, and we are aware of several, but our current focus is on the flooring. Thank you, Lynn. Well, Lynn, thank you for narrowing my focus because sometimes I do overshare. I see so many things that I want to solve in a space that I can't help myself. So I am really going to put my blinders on and just talk about flooring. Here's my experience. Now, first of all, luxury vinyl plank is much more forgiving and durable than hardwood. So I'm not opposed to putting it throughout in your kitchen, in your living room. And, if it opens up into the other room that had the cherry flooring, which it appears that it does based on these images, well, I'd want you to match it as closely as possible. But here's my caveat. I really hate wood flooring in a kitchen. If you have any issues at all, any water damage, any drips, any drops, it can really warp the wood. Now, that's not going to happen with that durable texture of luxury vinyl plank. But the problem for me with doing more wood tone in here is that you have wood cabinets that are oak and wood trim that appears to also be kind of an oak stain. And for me, it's just a lot of wood. And it's a lot of wood that doesn't necessarily coordinate because then you have cherry doors and door trim. I think it's the perfect opportunity to do some tile to add a contrasting texture to all this wood. That way we have cherry in the one room where you referenced. Then in the middle, we're moving and we have tile. Then as we go to the next space, which is currently carpeted, you put that luxury vinyl plank that's cherry. So that way the two don't have to match. Now say you don't like the cherry, and I must say I don't like the cherry. Those deep red woods, whether it's cherry, whether it's mahogany, anything that has that really deep red undertone, to me is just very dated and I don't see it coming back anytime soon. So I always hate to counsel people to add more of something that they don't really like. You have not told me you don't like the cherry. I have told you I don't like the cherry. If you like the cherry, by all means, continue it in here. If you don't like the cherry, maybe we do something more along the lines of that oak stain. And I would really consider painting this trim, as well as I would really consider painting the interior doors white. Whether it's the cherry door, and the oak trim, because these are two very specific and very different wood tones. And I do feel like the wood trim in this particular application, because you're not telling me it's like a historic home, you're not telling me it's a lake house. I think it's making it look a little dark. And with the wood cabinetry and all the wood flooring, I think it's just a lot of that texture. I would freshen it and make it more contemporary by painting those things white. I also think, oh my gosh, okay, I can't help myself. I was about to give you other advice, but I'm going to stop myself. The key is that you're going to do tile in this kitchen. That way the two floorings do not have to match. Even if you decide to continue the cherry, they're never going to be perfect in terms of one is made from a different texture than the other. One is natural hardwood, one is luxury vinyl plank. They're always going to look a little different. So you might as well make them very different. And then when they're not right next to each other, no one will know the difference. I think I used different in 3 different ways, 3 times in that sentence. Guys, I could keep going, but I'll stop myself. Lynn, I have more advice for you. Advice that I think is not all that difficult. So keep asking me questions if you have them. All you have to do is write to or head to uploft.com/podcast, and there's a form and you fill it out and it gets the question to me and then I answer it on an upcoming show. And yes, the mailbag is low, and yes, I would love to answer these for you. And yes, I'm delirious. I need to go lay in bed. And you know what I do, guys? It's 11:02 at night, which means I'm probably going to start sourcing for another client and stay up till 3 a.m. working because I have a lot of work to do. But more importantly, I love what I do. And I am so excited to work on this next client, a client right here in Connecticut, in the town right next door, Weston. We need artwork, we need accessories, we need furniture. I'm pumped. Okay. So there you go. That's my evening. I hope you're having a wonderful evening wherever you are. I hope you're in your onesie. I hope you've washed off your makeup, taken off your bra, and are ready to just chillax. Until next week, everybody. Bye. A big thanks to our producer, Jeremy Young, and to Aton and the Embassy for our theme music. And shout out to our parent company, Uploft Interior Design, your trusted source for expert interior design. Visit uploft.com to explore our services and book a consultation with one of our talented designers. If you're enjoying the Uploft Interior Design Podcast, please support us by sharing the show with friends and leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. It's the best way to help new listeners find us. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with more pro tips and pop culture dish.